But my life is good. Really good. I get to wake up every morning at 5 a.m. and make some soup. It's the best. I love it. I get to lay in a bed by myself all of my life. It's fantastic.
You're playing music too loud, right to jail, right away. You're driving too fast, jail. Slow, jail. You're charging too high prices for sweaters, glasses. You right to jail.
Where's my burrito? Where's my burrito? Where's my burrito? Oh!
Okay, I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not right on the teleprompter. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that.
No, there is. We are going to do Sting, yeah.
Okay, but now I can't read it. There's no words on it.
Okay. Ready? Sure.
There's no words there. To play us out. What does that mean? To play us out.
Sting is going to do. It's a video. Sting video.
What is
for credits?
I don't know what that means. To play us out. What does that mean? To end the show?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, go.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it.
Okay. In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with a. I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live.
Right.
Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.
Do it! Just do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it!
We obviously didn't communicate clearly. We're here to discuss your surrender, not mine.
Tú eres tan romántico molestando con una vipa. Me preguntas si te quiero, yo te digo que no estoy lista y no quiero comenzar. No hay nada que empezar, yo te dejaré atrás. Mientras gano más y más, no estás en mi nivel y tú no eres obligación. No estás motivada y tú aburres mi corazón. Eres un idiota sin inteligencia y razón. Entonces déjame tranquila mientras escriba tu canción. Tú eres tan romántico molestando con una vipa. Me preguntas si te quiero, yo te digo que no estoy lista y no quiero comenzar. No hay nada que empezar, yo te dejaré atrás. Mientras gano más y más, no estás en mi nivel y tú no eres obligación. No estás motivado corazón. Eres un idiota sin inteligencia y razón. Entonces déjame tranquila mientras escriba tu canción. Estoy aquí a disfrutar. Estoy aquí pero quiero gozar. Si quieres a mí pero vamos a bailar. Cintura a cintura, papi, tra, tra, tra. Bailando, gozando y me gusta tomar. Pero no quiero pendejos que no quieren respetar. Déjame pendejo, papi, ya no más. Déjame pendejo, papi, ya no más. Estoy aquí a disfrutar. Estoy aquí pero quiero gozar. Si quieres a mí pero vamos a bailar. Cintura a cintura, papi, tra, tra, tra. Bailando, gozando y me gusta tomar. Pero no quiero pendejos que no quieren respetar. Déjame pendejo, papi, ya no más. Déjame pendejo, papi, ya no más.
Cheers.
What is up, everybody? It is your boy Luis Martinez, aka Big Chief Burrito, here live with @Sofia_Sofia Carrillo, my co-host. Mi Gente Show live on a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday? What?
On a Tuesday.
Doubling up, baby.
Doubling up before your big vacation. Mi Gente Show live and direct. Everybody checking in. Say hi when you get here. Lurkers always welcome.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna jump right into it today because we have a guest who we met at the festival this year.
Yes.
I have a meme for it because we always have to get the appropriate meme for the situation.
Of course.
And so everybody knows the the girl meme that burnt out the house. So I created a small meme for her. Says, I accepted a podcast invite.
Oh my god.
But we gotta add something to it because I had a picture, so we had to add this. See?
Ah, I love that. I love that.
Because I was looking through our pictures that we had from the festival, and this one
That
kind
is
of
that is perfect.
It does look a little. It does look like it does kind of have that same sort of look here. So all right, that's enough. I've thrown my shade. Let's welcome Maribel Serrano to the stream.
Hi. I love the meme. Oh my gosh, send me that.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey,
I love memes of me. I used to have a coworker who would make fun of me and make memes, and it was
they're the best way. Aren't they amazing?
Yeah, they are.
I love it.
Sometimes we do a Sophia Cryface meme, but we retired that.
We did.
Are we allowed to drink on the podcast? Because I had a long day.
Yes, please do.
Good.
It is encouraged.
Okay, good.
I'm very under the weather, so I'm drinking tea, but I'm joining you in spirit.
All right, Maribel, thank you for joining us. We met at the festival this year as a film that you produced and were the subject of, which is sort of rare for documentaries, I would say, called My Daca Life, screened there. Fanny Nelson from Avenida Productions came down from LA, and we saw you, met you there, got to hang out with you during the festival. But, just so people know sort of what your story is, My Daca Life is a story of you being a DACA recipient and going back to Mexico to sort of refine your roots in a little bit. But can you tell us a little bit about where the idea for you producing your own story about yourself came about?
Yeah, of course. Thank you for asking that question and starting with that, actually. It's very important for me, for people to know that I'm also one of the producers. Because what I find in filmmaking is that a lot of times, especially when it comes to a story of empathy or someone being disadvantaged, the person who is highlighted in the story isn't usually the filmmaker. And normally it's people who have resources to make films. Not anyone can do it. You have to have the funds. You have to have the ability to know what you're doing. You have to have a team. But I felt like I have so much potential and so much that I can do. And I don't like that I'm being so restricted. And the whole point was for me to not only be the subject of the film, but also the producer. Like, why can't I also be a filmmaker? I don't want to just be, this like sad story, or, it's not just sad. It's a very inspiring story, but I also want to be the person who can produce their own film and show others that they can do the same. So that's sort of where it came from. It came from, I guess, frustration in the lack that I was experiencing, like the lack of resources and access, and wanting to do more and show who I really was, and that I was more than just this story that people should feel bad about.
Sorry, my dog went buck wild right in between there.
No, that's right. So there's a difference between being the subject of documentary where somebody is invading your life and then basically willingly accepting and recruiting somebody to invade your life. Do you feel that at any point it was, do you feel that during the filming you were being a version of your authentic self? Did you feel, since you also had the dual role of producer in filmmaker, in sort of trying to direct yourself, when you watch the movie now, does any of that sort of jump up in your mind?
To an extent, but I really think that Avenida Productions and Fanny did such a great job of taking my vision. I think that the only thing I would have changed, maybe, but it's a tricky situation. It probably would have made it less political, but that's also very hard because it is a political subject, and that can't be denied. I mean, the fact is that it's a program, when it comes to DACA and immigration, it is very political. You just, you can't hide it. But what I find that has been effective when it comes to educating people on who we are in our stories is meeting them where they are, is talking to them from the heart and from being authentic. And I've had friends on both ends of the spectrum being supportive as far as their political views, because I grew up around a diverse group of people, so that's just normal for me to be around people that have different views when it comes to their preferences and their views. And so I do think it's very important to be very honest and blunt and share the truth of what it is that we're going through. Sorry, my tripod is like sliding over. But I also, I wanted us to be approachable. And that's been one of my goals, is like not coming from a place of division, but being approachable so that anyone, regardless of what their views are politically, can get on board and support the cause and see who we are authentically and like connect on a human level versus a political one. But that being said, that political element had to be included to really be able to tell the story from the perspective of what it is in the U.S. government, who it affects. But yeah, I mean, I came in with a vision. I talked to Fanny, the director, and Avenida, and they did a really great job of just running with it. And I also had another 30-minute documentary that I produced when I was 25. And so I showed them that. So they had an idea already of what I wanted to create.
Yeah, I saw that. Tell us a little bit about that. It was drill, right? What does that stand for, and what did that mean to you in doing that at 25?
I'm sure there's a word when you combine two words and turn it into one.
Yeah.
It was dream and it was real. So I called it drill. I think of it now, it's kind of cheesy. Dreams are real. But what happened was, when I was 25 is when DACA passed. And before I was even approved for the program, just knowing that there was something in place that I knew I would qualify for because I checked all the boxes and the criteria, that alone was enough for me to create this documentary. And because I had been sharing my story previously, I was going to Washington, D.C. I was doing that like on a more intimate, political level for years, since I was 19, actually. And then when the program was announced, to me, that was my green light to just share it publicly and not be scared of being caught or being deported or whatever may come from, sharing such a personal story publicly. So I hired a cinematographer and an editor. He actually flew out here. I forget where he was living, but I told him, I gave him the vision. He had no idea, what this program, it was a new program in 2012. So, but he also did a really great job of putting it together and sharing the story. And for me, that was my way of, okay, I've always been so passionate about wanting to share my truth, because to me, I can imagine a life living and hiding and pretending that everything's okay and that I'm living this free life, and that some people don't really understand what it means to be undocumented. It's like I didn't qualify for a driver's license. And I live in LA. I have to drive, so not even being able to have an ID to prove who I am, or pass a background check to get a job, or financial aid for college, like all the things, the resources that regular, U.S. residents and citizens have as just a normal part of life, I didn't have access to. So for me, it was extremely important to be able to share that truth, to put it out in the open. And I've always believed that if people saw the truth and saw the humanity behind what this actually meant for people who go through it, that people would rally behind us and support us. And luckily, that's been the response so far, and the reaction is people have been very, very open and supportive of both films.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. We're talking live here with Maribel Serrano from My Daca Life. For our people in the Midwest, you can watch My Daca Life on April 15th, 4 days from now.
Ooh.
At the Shakan. How do you? I always fuck up the X. Shakan.
It's like a Z, I think.
Zacan Indie Film Festival, April 15th in El Centro, Denver, Colorado. So the movie starts, getting some notice. You start playing. We obviously screened it at the San Diego Latino Film Festival. You screened it in front of students and stuff like that.
Yes.
Even even at the screening that we did the Q&A for, you have these people sharing their stories, because like you said, it is very important for people to understand that, being undocumented or being in a sort of vague status inside of the country where that feels like home to you is obviously a very tough thing, You can't have any police interactions. You're always paranoid about things. You're afraid you can't travel. You're afraid to do a lot of things. So how does that feel, sort of having people open up to you, share their stories? Does that sort of make the entire process, or maybe any of the tough times going through that process, a little bit more worth it?
Now after the movie, or now after the victory?
Yeah, after the screenings and after all the everything.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was the whole point, because I had this burning desire to share my story since I was very young. That's why I was always politically involved. And it was very scary. It took a lot of courage, because although I was passionate about sharing my story, in the back of my mind there was a fear I can get caught. And that was always, that consistent fear was always there, but I was still taking the actions to do whatever I can. And I didn't know why. Like, it was hard for me to understand, why do I want to do this? Why do I want to share my story? Why do I have this burning desire? Why do I have this passion? And then I would question, is it silly? Is it dumb? Is it, immature for me to do this? Am I putting myself in danger? Like, that was a consistent conversation in the back of my mind. So I couldn't understand it, but I knew that passion was there. So I just kept, rolling with it. And now that so many people have been impacted, and I just have heard some of the most beautiful stories of how, the ways in which it's impacted people. And the fact that, I mean, just recently, a couple nights ago, I was at a restaurant and I just started talking to someone at the bar, and the gentleman who was sitting next to us, he overheard the conversation and he goes, "Oh my gosh, I'm going through that right now. I'm undocumented." I hear it all the time. And it's a lot of Latinos, but people from other countries too, like people from Europe. Like, it's amazing how everyone and anyone will open up to you when you're vulnerable and you share your story, especially when it comes to immigration, because a lot of times you make it a Latino issue or a Mexican issue, and it very much is, but there are also so many people from other countries. We just don't hear about it as much. But I've had people like that tell me, I just got my green card, or I'm dealing with that too. And so, it definitely, the beautiful thing about it is that my biggest fear in life, the thing that I was most scared of people finding out about me, became my strongest connector to other people. And now it makes sense. When I was questioning, why do I want to do this? It makes sense because it's for the impact. It's for other people. It was never really about me.
All right. Awesome. Good answer. I'm going to put the link to Maribel's movie in the chat here on Vimeo in case people want to go check it out. Thank you for stopping by. Maspas Leather, an artist that we met at the festival. Sophia, go ahead.
I want to know more about when you were 19, because you said you were pretty much already doing some political stuff at that age. And so tell us a little bit about your history when it comes to education, because I know it's hard to get into college, and I know you went to community college, et cetera, et cetera. How did you get into, doing what you did at 19 so early on?
Yeah, thank you. It just, it brings me back to my younger self is always my biggest inspiration. Like, I think about the things that I did and I'm like, wow, I wish I had that now. And I guess I do, but it was just your circumstances. So there's a saying that says, you don't know how strong you can be until being strong is your only option. Something like that. And in that moment of being just so young and hungry and ambitious and having so many dreams in life, and that 19 is an age where you're becoming an adult and you're starting to see your peers move to the next level, get their first jobs or their driver's licenses. And so there's something within us, I think, that is just yearning for that growth and that step into the next level. And so I had this ambition and this desire and also this anger of like, this isn't fair that this is happening. And I wanted to do more than just go out and protest. I wanted to face my fear. I had read a quote that says, "Run towards your fears. On the other side of your fear lies your best life, or your greatest life."
I love that.
And that I took that literally. And I thought to myself, I want to go to the decision makers. I want to be seen and heard by the actual people who make the decisions. If I'm protesting, I'll still protest, but that, goes in one ear out the other sometimes. I think that contributes to change, but I wanted to just do the most that I can to make sure that I was heard. And so I remember the first time I went to DC, I was 19, and I took like one of those handheld video cameras with me. The quality, the quality is terrible. But I was filming. I started filming then, and I wanted to just like to take that experience with me and remember it the rest of my life, because just the experience of being there, knowing that I was not legal at the time, there was no DACA, no Dreamers, no protection at all, was so nerve-wracking yet so exciting at the same time, because I was just so like proud of the courage that, you know, like being that person that was willing to take that risk and really not knowing what to expect. I mean, I'm 19 years old. I'm not legal. I'm walking the halls of Congress for the first time. I don't know if I'm going to be stopped at the entrance and asked for my papers. Like, I had no idea what that was going to be like. But I was willing to take the risk at that point. And I also thought about other people who had more to lose. For example, like they have children or jobs, or they have to maintain a family. And I thought, you know, I can afford to take this risk, because if I'm sent back or whatever happens, I will survive. Like, I'm going to be okay. Other people, you know, they can't do this. So I'm just going to take advantage of the position that I'm in. And if this country really wants me out, I'm here, you know, and that's how I'll know. I'd rather just get this over with than have to live with it the rest of my life. So it was very internal, I would say. It was very just driven by where I was in life, and survival and fear and anger and a lot of determination and courage.
Man, that's brave. You are brave. You're my idol. Holy shit.
Oh,
That's no, I feel like that's something that we take for granted in this country. It's kind of disgusting how we have such amazing citizens and people that come from all different walks of life, and you know, to not see them as quote unquote American enough is very diminishing. And so I really enjoy the work that you're doing, and I thank you so much for all the activism and just all the artwork and everything that you are putting out there with all your films, and with your photography. I see Lou is looking at some pictures. Yeah, I called you out a little bit. Do you want to show them off?
I'm preparing for the next segment. I'm letting you do your thing.
Okay.
All right. Photos.
Sophia,
show off a little bit of your art.
Don't negate the premise, Sophia. Yes.
By the way, I do want to extend. I want to just 25 minutes because we're at 22. So if we can go to 40, that would be great.
All right, we can update the meme. We can update the meme.
Update the meme.
740 hard.
Well, since we updated, what did your parents think of all of this at 19?
You know, I get that question sometimes, and it's hard for me to answer because they wouldn't say anything to me.
Really?
Yeah.
At
they
all?
would not. They wouldn't like. I would tell them, you know, I would mention this to them, thinking that they would be somehow proud or excited. But there was like silence. It was just so odd, because so the first time I went to DC, I was 19, but I went a couple of times after that. And there was once that my mom called me. I was at work and she called me and she said, look, we don't think it's a good idea. What are you going to go for? It's not safe, you know? And I remember I was just so angry, because now thinking about it, she was trying to protect me. But at the time, the way that it felt like you're trying to stop me from doing something impactful and meaningful that is a dream of mine. And as my parent, like, I expect your support. So that's how it felt in that moment. And I just was like angry. I don't know what I said to her, but I hung up the phone. And I was just so upset that I didn't have my parents' support, you know, for trying to create change. So it was a lonely experience, because at the time, people didn't understand what I was doing it or why. And that includes my parents. And I love them dearly. And I know that they were just trying to protect me, but it was a very lonely experience as far as having no support and feeling like, not only do I really not know what I'm doing, but I'm following this passion and I don't know if it's a good idea. And plus I have no support or anyone telling me that it is a good idea. So yeah, I mean, I did in the past few years, you know, ask my parents, like, what did you think when I was going to DC and I was doing all these things? Like, and my dad said, I just thought it was a waste of time. I just thought, you know, nothing's going to change. Like, he just didn't think much of it. He was just like, I guess he was just confused as to why I was doing that.
I guess it's kind of the defeatist perspective of, you know, a more jaded adult, I guess. And then you have a spunky 19-year-old wanting to change the world, which is what ultimately what we need, right? It's what we need. That's how you get change done, is by action.
Yeah. And I think that's such a just people having big dreams. You know, I think there are some of us that we can't help but have big dreams and want to do things that other people haven't done, and want to take risks. And then there are other people who are just very content in their day to day, and that's okay. It's not like one is better than the other, but that's why I think there's so much opposition and resistance with people who are big dreamers, because others don't quite understand or don't see the vision. And for people who do want to create and want to grow, it's so important to build that, to grow that muscle of like not letting yourself be discouraged, you know, by people who maybe they don't necessarily want to hold you back, but they just don't have the same vision that you have. And a lot of times that's our own family.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's heartbreaking in a sense, almost that it do be like that sometime. And again, Maribel, we thank you for coming on the show. We'll spend a couple more minutes with you before we let you go. But I mean, I know you said you like to stay away from the political stuff, but from my perspective, it's pretty it's a political issue in the sense that, you know, the parties could fix it in 2 minutes, but that means he couldn't run on it, right? So Democratic Party under Obama couldn't pass anything really comprehensive, even though they had a supermajority. So they do DACA, which is literally the bare minimum that you could do for people that were brought over as kids. And, you know, the Democratic Party every few years since then has says they're going to do an updated registry. They're going to do this. They're going to do advanced parole. They're going to do all these things. And at the end of the day, they don't do shit, because that means they can't fundraise off of that anymore and say, we're the party that cares about Latinos. We're the party that cares about immigration. So it's a lot of empty stuff. I mean, the Republican Party could in now take over the gain control of, because they also have, you know, Republican Party gains traction with Latinos, you know, third, fourth generation, once they've sort of gotten a little bit more into the US, certain demographics, Cubans, affluent Latinos, etc. And they could take over that issue by doing something. Reagan is my favorite president because he passed amnesty, right? Mm-hmm. But it's not. So it is frustrating as somebody, you know, who's dealt with both sides, who's lived life undocumented and unregistered and stuff like that. That a lot of our culture is based on closing the door behind us, you know. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, you have to at least acknowledge that there is this sort of infighting. There's all this stuff that happens with it. You might want to stay apolitical because, you know, of your connections or because of what you want to do in your life, but at the core, you have to agree that there is at least politics plays a major role in sort of playing with these lives. They want to keep people undocumented. They want to keep our free labor, our cheap labor, you know, and then conveniently use us as an enemy, as a boogeyman to rally up their base. Well, at least, you know, from my perspective.
Well, one thing that's for sure, when immigration reform happens again, because I do believe that it will happen again, we're going to see an extremely large number of Latinos who now have political power. I mean, we're, you know, the fastest growing minority group in the United States. And so it's going to happen anyway. The Latinos are going to be, you know, a very large part of the population, more so than it is today, but with more political power, so much political power. And that isn't very exciting for a lot of people in politics. And it is complicated, you know, because there's a system already in place. There's a backlog. There are people who are trying to become legalized. There's applications that need to be processed that take a very long time. I mean, my immigration file is it's that thick with like applications and letters and back and forth. And I mean, mine was an easy, you know, simple case. So I just can't imagine the process that it would be to legalize so like millions of people. But you know, it can be done. I mean, if the government can bail out banks that, you know, lost billions of dollars, they can definitely pass immigration reform and find a way to hire the personnel and process the applications and legalize people who've been here for decades, for lifetimes. So of course, and it is a political issue. What I don't like is that, this should be something that both parties agree on. It shouldn't be one or the other, because it's for what's best for the country. It's what's best for the economy, and it's what's
Expands the tax base, expands voter
yeah.
base.
Yeah, and so it shouldn't create division. And I just don't like that there's this blame game being played, because everyone should be in agreement that immigration reform needs to happen again. It's been 35 years since Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan was a Republican, by the way. It goes to show that, and that's why a lot of, Latinos who became legalized at the time and their families are Republican, because they're grateful for him for changing their lives. So we also need to be, cognizant of why people think the way they do. And, if we have too much hope on one party or the other, a lot of times that can be disappointing. And that happened to me for many years. I was very, very hopeful, and I just kept hearing empty promises again and again. And so I decided, it's no longer about who's in office. Like, this needs to get done, period. Like, I'm not paying. It is political, but it's time for both parties to come together and see this as beneficial for the country as a whole.
Definitely. Have you I'm curious, because you've been talking about this same topic since you were 1925 to now, and so I feel like a lot has changed in just the zeitgeist of the United States over that amount of time, and specifically when it came to, I mean, I don't want to get political either, but like with Donald Trump, basically, the otherism of Latinos, I feel like that was a pretty big moment in time where we were now used as a scapegoat. And I feel like hatred towards Latinos and undocumented immigrants kind of rose. So what has been your experience in promoting your, DACA and everything from then to now?
Well, what's funny is when we finished filming in Mexico, this was October 2016, and we came back, and 2 weeks later, the election happened.
Oh, whoa.
And Trump was elected. And that was not part of our vision or our plan, by the way. But I just remember feeling so lost and scared and wondering, like, is this, idea of a project, again, like, is this a dumb idea? Am I putting myself more at risk? And I just remember thinking, are we even going to go through with this film now that, Trump is elected? And I decided that I was going to talk to the production team, to Avenida, and that I was going to go based on their advice, because I was willing to continue sharing my story, even if it meant more risk for me. But I also, I thought, because they're professionals, they're my co-producers and partners, like, I'm going to consult them and see what they say. So I picked up the phone and I had a conversation, and they said, Maribel, this is now more important than ever. It's more important than ever for you to tell your story. And I was so excited. I was like, okay, yes, they're on my team, we're going to do this. But I also had people, telling me, I have a text message still that I saved where someone said, Maribel, stop making your movie. Like, you're putting yourself in danger. They don't care about us. Like, this is a lot more complicated than you think. So I had that too from other people. But at the same time, I got my green card during a Trump administration. I went to my interview. I had my medical examination and all of that during that period. But it wasn't just in that moment. I mean, this had been a process, years in the making, so again, it just goes to show that there's a different pattern throughout the political spectrum, and things happen and unfold not necessarily based on who's president. But to answer your question, it was a lot more scary during the Trump era. And one thing that Trump did, and again, this is about him as a person and how he chooses to speak about people. I mean, he talks about Mexicans being rapists, and that creates something in people. That creates a picture and a mindset and a stereotype that is just not true. And are there bad people in every culture who do harm? Absolutely. But why highlight Mexicans and Latinos, right? There was one time that he had a speech and he had a presentation, and he brought up a group of, like, I don't know, 10 mothers. And they were sharing about how an undocumented, or in their words, illegal immigrant, hurt their child or murdered their child or something like that.
He created like a panel or something that was all about like immigrant crimes.
Oh my God.
Infuriated me, because that dialogue and that highlight is very dangerous, because these are mothers and we empathize with them, and we don't want any mother to go through any suffering, regardless of whether the person who committed the crime was documented or not. But he's decided to highlight this as if this is who undocumented folks are. They're criminals. And that is a very dangerous rhetoric. And to, you know, to choose to highlight that group of people who happen to, you know, have that experience, because that happens to so many people, and someone's character is absolutely not based on their immigration status at all.
Mhm.
But he chose to, you know, create that narrative to his huge audience. And again, that creates a picture in people's minds. And for me, it's just always been about, how do I demonstrate that those are fabricated narratives and show the truth and what's on the other side, and that does not represent who undocumented immigrants are. It's a status based on a piece of paper. It's not a status based on someone's character or talent or ambition, or, you know, wanting to contribute to this country.
All right, guys, we've been live here with Maribel Serrano from My Daca Life. You can catch the documentary this Thursday on the 15th in Denver, and it's also going to be screening in LA when, Maribel?
In May. I think May. I don't have the exact date. I'll have to double check, but it's a part of the Life Film Festival, LIFE Film Festival, that Avenida Productions is co-producing. So I will check on the exact date, but that'll be early May.
All right, absolutely. And we don't have a lot of time here. We have 1 minute left, but I did want to show you guys some of the footage that we shot with Maribel when we came. She came down here. We went to hang out close to the border in San Isidro.
Ooh, did y'all do a movie? Y'all do a little film?
Yes, we did.
I'm excited. Okay.
We talked a little bit about her experiences there, right there, sort of at the border. We had Border Patrol cars stopping by. It was her first time really hanging out at the border since that. And then we did some cool pictures and took some pictures at Chicano Park here in San Diego. We were able to walk around.
That was so much fun. Yeah, it was interesting being so close to the border and just feeling like so normal and neutral. People are just walking around shopping, and I just think to how I felt, you know, several years back, I just would not even dream of being that close to the border. I was terrified.
Yeah.
And before you let us go, just I know we didn't get a chance to talk about your life post DACA and kind of what you're doing now, but can you tell people like where they can keep up with you and sort of you know, you're in marketing, you're in production, you're motivational speaking, you're doing a bunch of stuff. What's your website and how can people keep up with you and follow you?
So my website is maribelserrano.com. You can connect with me there. My Instagram is @itismaribel. And you can follow the film on mydacalife.com. I'm very active on Instagram. So if you want to reach out and connect with me there, that's like my instant messaging platform. So, and then you can also find me on Facebook, facebook.com Maribel/Maribel.Serrano. And yes, I'm doing a lot, and I'm still, you know, passionate about continuing to share my story and create change, because it's been my truth, and I don't want anybody to have to go through what I went through. And I know that so many people are, and even worse, you know, some of them are in worse situations. And so for me, I just see it as a moral obligation, but also a privilege to be able to, you know, share this story. And yes, I'm also working in marketing and continuing to share stories of Latino progress and continuing to connect with my community and people who are like-minded and also have the same goal of helping Latinos progress in this country, because that's where we belong. We're the next world power, baby, and I'm here for it.
Yes.
Well, we wanted to have you hang out so you could react to some news and stuff with us, but I know you have to get out. You're a busy LA gal with
She's got a busy life. You can't hate.
So you can just hopefully in
what
the
kind
future
of
sometime. Oh, we talk about all kinds of stuff. We got the
stuff.
Dalai Lama, the Dali Lama. We got the HellScape watch. We got all kinds of stuff. We talk about everything. It's two Latinos reacting. You know,
we react to a bunch of crap and then we just talk shit all day. That's all we do.
Hopefully one of these days you can set aside some more time for us later on, and you can just jump on with us.
You are
we also do
always
anonymous
welcome.
advice.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Well, I'm excited to hear your reactions, and thank you so much for having me and for everything that you do. And by the way, that intro was hilarious.
Thank you.
I do like the Wednesday part. That's my favorite.
I love seeing myself next to Bill O'Reilly. I was invited to be on Tucker Carlson once.
What?
Yeah. I mean, I was being asked questions by one of his producers to see if I was, you know, a candidate, but I don't think that they wanted me because he tends to, drill into people and try to make them look stupid.
They like stupid people there.
So I wasn't a good candidate.
So they were like, not her.
for the
She's too
show.
smart.
She'll
Probably.
fight back too much.
Yeah.
Possible.
Well, all right. Well, we can get into those stories and stuff. We can get into those stories later on. We appreciate you taking the time tonight. And we will hopefully see you soon, Maribel. Thanks for
Sounds
tuning
good.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Love you.
Bye.
Oh, I love her. Dude, I am dying. Oh my gosh. Ah.
You all right?
No, I have no idea what I have. What if it's little COVID? Who knows? Who knows, man?
Little baby COVID?
Oh, baby COVID. I don't know. It feels like it. I've had it already, so it feels like it. But I'm already like, today I felt a lot better. That's when I was like, okay, I'm definitely doing the pod. But the last like 3 days,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. Tenía cuerpo cortado like all day, 24 hours. And it wasn't until this morning that I was like, whoa, I can move.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
Wow. That's insane. I mean, well, you also, did you work back-to-back nights this week?
I've been overworking myself. Last week, I covered my coworker's shift, and it's just been like ongoing. So it was time. It was time for my body to crash, and I'm happy it happened before the trip. That's So.
All right. Well, we'll hang in there as long as you can today.
Hell yeah!
If
Don't make
not,
HellScape too painful.
Or else I'll trudge along myself.
Hell yeah! We got another one on Thursday anyway. Nah, I'll be here. Don't worry. This will be at least 2 hours. Come on, we're long-winded people.
Yeah, we're always long. All right, well, let's moving right along. Rosa, what's up, Rosa? Rosa will be on Thursday to talk. Take some bronco miel and some Vicks.
Claro que sí. I've been bathing in Vicks, man. It's great. It's amazing.
Let's see what else we're gonna share.
By the way, I have to talk to Rosa. Okay, I'll talk to you on Thursday. I have an update though. Oh my god. Okay, I'll just tell you right now. I finally watched Marcel the Shell.
Oh.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
Okay. We'll talk a little bit when Rose is on next Thursday.
We'll talk a little more Marcel the Shell. Yeah. All right. So I got a bunch. So let's just start clearing stuff out. How about that?
Okay. Let's do it. Let's go.
Should we
You don't want to do personal news? How are you doing? First of all.
Personal news. All right. Let's do personal news. Yes. All right. Sure. We didn't get a chance to it here. Well, my personal news, unfortunately, is.
Not
unfortunately, but. I don't know, man. Having a German Shepherd is tough because no, it's not the hair. The hair, I love the hair. The hair's fine. I'm used to the hair. It's just that I'm not used to because pit bulls are super resilient and their stomachs are like they can take whatever. But also it's just a little bit more. I don't know. And he's also a Craigslist dog, so I think that those are like super inbred and stuff. So I think he's gonna have problems like with his hips and stuff and whatnot. And him and Baxter were playing. Him and Baxter were playing today or something like that. And all of a sudden I hear them both crying. So and now also was limping from his left leg when he got hurt the other day, and now he's limping a little bit from a rear leg, and Baxter's limping a little bit, and I'm like,
what?
Yeah, and they're both like sitting here. Like I had to give them some CBD right now before I started, so they're all a little drugged up too. So hopefully they get some rest and
they're really trying to get you bankrupt. That's what they're trying to do.
I'm just telling. I don't got emergency room money right now for you guys. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I think I'm gonna have to. Baxter's over here. Baxter's getting old anyway. So my personal news is my dogs are. I need I'm probably gonna have to get like pet insurance or something and get them taken care so that
That's expensive too, though. Oh my gosh,
that is on purpose. Other than that, we are working and we're working on the next script where we're gonna get ready to do a crowdfunding for the next movie, and I'm going to the gym still. This is week 4. I survived last night. I got to the gym. I did my whole routine. I had
proud of you, man.
My pre-workout, my little amino acids ready. I get there, I sit up, and then I open up my I open up my earphones case.
No battery.
No, it was empty.
Oh.
They were empty.
Oh my gosh. No, that's the worst thing when you get to the gym and you're like, I'm gonna raw dog this. Like I'm just gonna do it with no music.
And it was just like,
Wow.
oh god, that was and oh man, it is so rough to work out with no music, man.
It is.
It is a pain in the ass.
Happened
So
to me once.
I did some cardio. Yeah, I did some cardio and I swam a little bit and I came home. But yeah, so I survived that. I was already there. I was already drinking my amino acids, so I'm doing that. So working out, getting a good routine, getting going.
Yeah.
That's the new stuff. That's kind of where we're at. And editing, doing all that stuff too.
Nice.
So
nice.
we're here. We're active, trying to take care of my dogs. What about you?
Reality show. I got an update. It comes out on 5th of May. So Cinco de Mayo. So look out for that. They finally got their shit together, apparently. I'm gonna be in Europe, so I don't know how much I'm gonna be active in that. I'll probably repost some stuff. That's about it. But yeah, it'll come out on 5th of May. So I'm gonna be on a reality show, y'all. Yay. And other than that, huh?
Have you guys done any more of the reaction shows, or was that put on pause?
No, that everything was put on pause, and like the company that I was going to do the reaction shows for, I have yet to hear if they're working with them. So I don't know. It's all up in the air. I will, since I have access to StreamYard, I feel like I will do reaction shows regardless, and maybe we'll just put it up on the Mi Gente show. What do you think? Or on my own personal YouTube, something. I don't know, free content. But if you want to react with me, go for it. But I don't know. It's just, I'll be in Europe. So when I come back, I'll think about it.
You'll be in Europa?
I'll be in Europa. Yeah. Oh my God. Another personal news. I finally watched Schindler's List. I had never in my life watched Schindler's List. Don't laugh. Hold on. And I needed to watch it because I'm going to go to Poland. I'm going to go see Auschwitz. I know, very dark. I cried a lot. Boy, was I not prepared. Why did no one tell me about Schindler and his list?
You were surprised that the movie about the...
Nah, I'm playing. I knew what it was about. I already knew about Oscar Schindler. I'm playing. But there was a couple of scenes that, bitch, it got me. It's a genocide. It was messed up. I was like, Jesus.
Are you kidding me? Yeah, no, that movie is probably one of the top single watch movies, because you watch it once and it hits you so hard.
Yeah.
And then there's pick your scenes, all the brutality scenes,
For me, the shower.
The shower stuff.
Oh, fuck, that got me so bad.
The girl with the red coat is
massacre.
There's an actual it's a story about something that happened. All of that movie was incredibly hard. Don't watch. I mean, what was the movie
I watched Sophie's Choice earlier in the year because you told me I needed to watch it. That was another sad one.
Yeah, there's a lot of so babe, I mean, it's an incredible film.
Yeah, amazing film, highly recommend. But I did I've been to Berlin before, and I went to Sachsenhausen, and I just remember that was my first one of my first concentration camps, my first concentration camp that I went to, and it was extremely difficult and hard to be in the chambers, and it was just really hard. And I was like, I can't imagine myself being in Auschwitz, because you get to Sachsenhausen and they were like, this was the chill one. This was like the one where we put them to work more than anything. Auschwitz was a really bad one. And so I was like, damn, can't imagine what I would do over there, And now, fast forward to now, I'm actually going to go to Auschwitz. So I know I'm going to sob, and it'll be very hard and difficult. And yeah,
don't take any inappropriate selfies, obviously. Number one.
No, I know how to act. Okay, watch me be like, "Hi, mi gente from Auschwitz."
Oh God, fuck! You just made me. That would be so horrible. Don't do that.
Listen.
I know. Let's blame that joke on the cough medicine.
Yes, it is. It's all the NyQuil, you guys.
It's good. It's good that you're going out there. No, it's awesome. I mean, it's an experience. But yeah, what was the movie that I was thinking about was, there's another really hard movie to watch, The Pianist.
Mm.
with Adrian Brody, which is, I mean, it was a Roman Polanski movie, and so obviously with
With a
his
grain of salt,
whole
yeah.
with his whole thing, but it is an incredibly tough movie to watch regarding anything regarding the Holocaust is obviously going to be
Yeah, it
difficult
is.
to watch.
And I will say it like sparked a lot of really good conversation between me and my brother, and kind of because he kept being like how do you get there? Like, it was so funny because like I was like, it's a slow progression, bud. Like, it goes from just othering one group think, you make other people, you dehumanize them enough that eventually okay, now you don't care if they lose their homes. Okay, that's okay, right? But you can maintain some rights. Now you don't care if they lose their rights. And then slowly it progresses to now all of a sudden they're vermin and they don't deserve to be alive. And now we're causing genocide. It's a very slow progression, but that's how we get to that extremism. So it does irk me, reeling it back to the DACA situation, how we are not at the vermin genocidal level right now, but it does irk me a lot, the parallels
Well,
of fascism with just the
the
rhetoric
language
that
that
is
they
the
use is the same.
language, yeah, is
Yeah,
the same of like, okay, we are in the dehumanizing lane. That's where we are right now. We're in the
we get
dehumanizing area, and I don't want it to get past this. I don't want it to even be near this. I want it to go I want us all to just see each other as humans and love each other. And how about let's let's just love each other, please. I'm sick.
Aren't you though? Yeah. You're sick. You're sick.
This is the shit that I think about though. Anyway. All right, well, that's enough about me.
No, that's you're 100% right. It is the language, the imagery, the language, all of the things, when you start really thinking about the fascism playbook, there's people that advise the people that are in power that would love for that to be the thing that happens. They're 100% down with fascism. They went from America, we love America, America freedom, love it or leave it, to like, you know what? If it's my guy that's in charge, I'm okay with fascism. That's literally the change that happened. Is they went from can't tread on this, you can't, to like, oh, you know what? Fascism's okay if I'm part of the fascist party.
Exactly. Yeah, if it benefits me, which is
If it
it's
benefits me.
crazy. Yeah, we think with that can't happen again, and yet here we are in 2023, and we're othering any other groups of people, especially like Latinos and just the
It could
MAGA.
absolutely, definitely happen again.
Yeah. So let's avoid that, guys.
All right. All right. All right.
All right.
Let's pick some tabs here and get some stuff going. All right. I'm gonna save this one for next episode because it's entertainment related. Let's save that. Rosa will be on Thursday. We'll do our entertainment segment with her. Friggin' Mario Brothers killing it at the theater. So first it was like, hey, make Princess Peach a helpless princess again.
Yeah.
And then now they're saying, oh, the movie did well because it wasn't woke. So now it's like, well, you can't really have that both ways. Which one is it? Was it woke because they had the princess being a badass, or did it do $400 million because
you know
what I mean?
Yeah. They're like, it didn't have any gay couple, so it wasn't woke. Her.
Yeah. And Princess Peach might have been a little butch, but we're okay with that.
It's called a tomboy.
All right. Let's see. Moving right along. All right. Let's do HellScape, and then we'll move on to stuff then. All right.
Okay.
All right. This is fine.
This is fine. This is fine.
This is fine. This is 100% fine. All right. So yeah, basically, the HellScape this week is another shooting Monday morning in a bank. And the main thing that was happening with this shooting that was sort of very similar to the rest. Well, the guy was live streaming it on Instagram, and also the way that they portrayed the shooter was comical at best. Some of the headlines were that it was white. Of course, he was white. So it was like he was popular in his school. He was an athlete, and it was one of those memes where like they show the guy in the jet ski, and then like this is what the picture they put on when a guy murders his own family and he's white. So
Oh no.
the media was doing great there.
His
One more
valedictorian picture is just
yeah. It's always like that. Meanwhile, Trayvon Martin is like, oh, he had weed in the system when he passed. You know,
he was like 10. It's like, okay,
yeah,
bro.
it's like all right. We covered Ukraine war still going on. Some lady blew up one of the Russian fighters with a bomb. We missed that. I'm gonna save this one for next week as we move right along. And then the one thing I did want to talk about, we got all right. Should we talk about the Dalai Lama right away?
Yeah, let's do it. Cause you know what?
Yeah.
That was weird.
Right. So let's talk Dali Lama. The Dalai Lama. There's a lot of stuff happening with the Dalai Lama. There was a whole thing that they did with the British guy. What's his name? You know what I'm talking about?
There's a lot of British men. No, which one?
The guy that does the weekly HBO show This Week Tonight or something.
Oh yeah.
Because
yes.
the Dalai Lama and the other Lama, they have to like sort of find each other, and then China like kidnapped the guy that was supposed to be the next Dalai Lama. Anyway, the Dalai Lama's around, and he asks a young boy to suck his tongue.
Right? Yeah. Quote. It's a quote. He said, "Suck my tongue."
But he did apologize.
Did he? Listen, can we? I want to roll the tape because I feel like you don't understand how uncomfortable this moment is unless you sit through the discomfort. Have you seen it? Please play it.
I've seen the I've seen parts of it, right? But let's take a look at it here.
Jeez. Yeah, because well, no, I was just gonna say, I don't know. There's a lot of people that are saying like, oh no, it's tradition in Tibetan culture, tongue greetings, blah blah blah. If you watch the video, I don't think you'll think that. Oh no. If you watch the whole video with like his voice, it's so awkward. And then he grabs his hand at the end. He's like, now give me a kiss. And then he gives him a kiss on the lips. He's like, on the lips. And then he gives him a kiss on the lips. And then he's like, okay, now suck my tongue. And then I should not be laughing. It is very disturbing. It is really disturbing to watch. And all I can think of is like, this man is a pedophile. And I think he's just hit that age where now in his dementia,
Wait, you think the Dalai Lama is a pedophile?
I think so, bro. Did you not watch the video? You're gonna stare at that child and be like, all right, can I give me a little kiss? I want to suck my tongue a little bit. Really? Watch the video, Lou. The video will convince you.
I mean,
the real time. Hear his voice. This man is creepy. This man is creepy. He's a pedophile.
All right, listen.
That's pedophilic. That was some Catholic priest behavior. All right, leave that in Catholicism, Dalai Lama. How dare you?
Listen, as a non-practicing Buddhist, I do feel that I should at least be like, well, you know, I don't know, maybe I don't know. I don't feel comfortable just all of a sudden calling the Dalai Lama.
I didn't either until I saw that video, Lou. I
saw it. It's not a good look. It's not a good look to ask.
There's so much empty space where he's just like,
the show's weird, yeah.
And then he grabs his and then he doesn't let him go. He like grabs him and then like it lingers. It's so creepy. I can't understate it enough. Watch it with audio. All of it. It is so creepy.
Yeah, exactly. Why would he do that in public?
Here's my theory, because why would he, right? My thing is you get to a certain point when you're in your age, you know, maybe you got a little dementia, who knows?
He's not that old.
He's old as hell. And where you just, you know, you walk out without your pants on. I'm just saying that he just kind of was like, I think he just had a lapse of judgment and was like, yeah, kiss me, lick my tongue. And he forgot that he was not in private.
I don't think that I don't I listen, it could be super creepy and it could
Pedophile.
be wrong, but I'm gonna stop at calling the Dalai Lama a pedophile. I'm gonna say
He said, "Suck my tongue."
there has to be something else there that we're not like that hasn't come out yet, or maybe I
Okay,
don't
so
know.
the best defense that I've heard is like, oh, Tibetan greetings, you're not getting it. It's like, a culture thing, because you can always play the culture thing. But even with the people that are saying that, they were like, this went on a lot longer than a greeting. Like, it was already past. He already greeted him a million times, and then he was like, all right, now suck my
It
tongue.
was like a photo shoot. Maybe it was
And
like
then he
a
said suck my tongue in English, which is another thing of like, bro. It's so creepy. I'm saying pedophile. I'm saying dementia. I'm saying he's an old man and just, forgot to wear pants one day.
I'm going to not call the holiest of holiest His Excellency the Dalai Lama a pedophile.
I'm sorry, but he said suck my tongue. I can't. I'm sorry. I don't want to.
I mean, I've said that, but not to an 8-year-old, obviously.
Why
But
not? Why haven't you said that to an 8-year-old?
It's because it's wrong, and I'm not a fucking creepy old pedophile.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But I'm just not
That's
ready.
Why you haven't.
That's for yes, but I'm just saying. Listen, if there's something if there's even an ounce of it's something cultural, or it was a bit, or I don't know. I'm not. It's hard to defend it. Obviously,
yeah.
It's very hard to defend it, but I mean, I think the guy deserves a little tiny bit of slack in terms of like, it would be the first when you say you can't really compare it to Catholicism because that's like 100. I mean, a billion. Like, you know what I mean? Like Catholicism and the Catholic Church has been doing that for millennia.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying like knock the religion, let's burn everything down. I'm just saying that in this case, pedophilic activity. He was like this close to grabbing his hand and putting it down his crotch, man. It was just so creepy. It was vile. It was vile to watch. He would not let him. It was creepy. You need to watch it. I'm telling you.
I've seen it. I understand it, and I was cringed. But I'm
with the audio, because without the audio, they make it look like, oh, it's an old man just being like, he. No, it was like suck my tongue. It was creepy as fuck. It was so scary, dude. And this kid was trying to get away, like, okay, bro, all right.
Yeah, that part of it was
and then
like,
he would pull him in. Like, I was like, I've been in a room with creepy bishops, and listen, no, I say.
I mean, listen, like I said, I'm not gonna defend him, but I'm not gonna throw him under the bus like 100%. Like, hey, it's 1,000% this. Yeah. Like you said, maybe he was just a little bit out of. Maybe he was just a little out of it. He is old, although he's not like senile old, but he has been. He has been, like he's basically.
I think he might be a little senile now.
Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll go. Maybe he's.
I think that's the best bet. I think that's the best bet. You know, when a creepy like grandpa be like grabbing your butt or something, and then you're like, he's the senile. He's the creepy old grandpa. There's a movie about it. I'm like, that's the best bet at this point, because other than that, it's pedophile, and it's like, I don't know.
We're not defending groomers or pedophiles or anything like that. I just said he's His Holiness, and it might be a little bit to jump the gun to immediately be like, this is 100% what it is. That's all.
This is why you never meet your idols, guys. They will always disappoint you and be pedophiles.
What? Wow, you are coming on strong.
You really disagree? I'm surprised you disagree.
No, I don't disagree. I just think that when you compare somebody to the Catholic Church, it's tough because the Catholic Church has been doing this institutionally for thousands.
At that point,
systemic, institutional year. They're 100% okay with it. They literally rape and they literally groom children.
They groom them and then label them. Yeah,
they pick children that are from like shattered homes that need guidance.
Mm-hmm.
There's literally like in these communities in South America, they did this for hundreds of years, where the church is like, oh, the priest is taking an interest with you. Yes, go with him on a retreat and stuff like that, taking advantage of the families.
Yeah.
That is like the top level of being a piece of shit child molester groomer.
Agreed.
this old guy that may or may not know where he was, and he's been treated like a god his whole life because he literally is supposed to be like a god. You know what I mean? I just did this one thing. Like if you were like, oh, the Dalai Lama does it again, you got more videos of him, I would be like, yeah, sure. As a one-time video, it is not a good look. It is a very bad looking video. But like I said, I'm gonna stop myself from like immediately declaring that he's a pedophile and this. He needs to work on that though.
I will say pedophilic activity. All right, that was pedophilic behavior. We don't need to label him, but that was behavior of a pedophile. Okay. All right.
So that yes, it was not good behavior. It's not something.
Because why aren't you licking 8-year-olds? Go tell them to suck your tongue, Lou. Why aren't you doing that? It's normal, apparently.
No, it's not normal. It's not normal. I'm just saying that he's the Dalai Lama, so I'm willing to listen to an explanation or to see if there is something cultural. But obviously what we see in the video is not a good look, and it definitely does look like bad molester behavior, creepy old guy behavior. Now, whether there was something else or whether there's a cultural aspect to it, I haven't looked into it that much. So I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, it's not a good look for the Dalai Lama. It's not a good look. But like I said, as somebody who practiced Buddhism and who studied about the Dalai Lama and stuff a long time in my youth, I can't go 100% there as like a definitive statement on my part yet, unless like I said. But obviously, the kids seem to be uncomfortable. The video doesn't lie, the sound doesn't lie, so we can definitely say that it was inappropriate and that it feels very weird that he did that, especially in public.
Yeah, there you go. Agreed.
Okay,
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Sophia, you come in with the hard word, like right away.
By the way, listen, I'm just saying.
All right, let's cleanse our palate from that for a second.
Okay. Soccer.
This is a goal kick.
Oh no, mames way. It really got in. Where's the goalie?
This is from a goal kick.
Where the fuck is the goalie at?
Falling on his ass.
Oh, he's right there. Bro! Esta pendejo. What teams are these? Oh my god.
Sorry.
That's amazing. That is amazing. My bad. Sorry, guys.
My bad. Yeah, that was easy.
Oh, that guy, he better watch his back. Oh my gosh. The fans are gonna get him. Holy shit.
This was in Chile.
It was in Chile. Oh no. Oh, poor. Is he alive? Is he okay?
The goalkeeper? Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's fine.
Good.
I mean, there's if you want to watch a documentary about something crazy, you can watch the Two Escobars, which was about the soccer player from Colombia from the World Cup in '94. That it wasn't necessarily because of the own goal, but it is what the guy said to him before he shot him. He ended up getting killed in Medellin after the World Cup in the U.S. So hey, that shit gets happen. It
really does. Fans get crazy.
It happens at kids sporting again.
I'm sorry. Did you just read that?
Yeah, North Carolina man. North Kakalaka man says, I want to say that I went to Christian school as a child and I'm a little disappointed nobody found me attractive enough to put their tongue down my throat. Did you look like a 40-year-old man when you were in...
What were you wearing?
And you weren't putting out the vibe. You weren't putting out the right vibe. You weren't putting out the vibe.
Wow.
You know? Right,
we're getting so canceled. So canceled.
Let's get off these topics here. All right, let's see what else going on here. Jesus. I did want to talk a little. Where is this? I'm trying to find. All right, so in Latina news, Ana de Armas and Carol G are set to make SNL history as host and musical guests. Both will be Latinas on the April 15th episode, marking the first time.
Fun.
So don't bother me on April 15th.
Yeah.
Ana de Armas will be hosting SNL.
Wow. Carol D is going to be musical guest. Sorry, that's my girl. I love Carol.
Carol G?
Yeah. Oh my God, both our crushes are gonna be at the
Look at
same
that.
place at the same time.
It should be. We have a watch party.
Let's have a watch party, bro.
Let's have a watch party for Ana de Armas
I
and
will
Carol.
stay up for Carol
What kind of
G.
music is Carol G?
Reggaeton as well. Her new
Oh.
album dropped like a month ago or something. It's been devouring my life, which is good because Benito's in timeout. So since Bad Bunny's in timeout, it's nice that Carol G came in with some new music.
Nice.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Let's see. Our friend Lalo Alcaraz came out with a new and some new videos. Let's play one of them here. Let's see if it wants to play. Now, let me hit the refresh and try it again. They're basically a series of videos regarding. Can you hear that?
No, but it also paused, so it's probably why.
Let me
Lalo.
I think I didn't hit the right button here. I didn't hit the share audio thing.
Gotcha.
All right, let's try this again.
Hey, it's Lalo Alcaraz. I'm
There it is.
excited to share my latest collaboration with my friends at Haluna Health about the vital fight for quality maternal health care in California. Enjoy, and please share this far and wide.
I'm going to tell you a story about a real superhero. When my mama was pregnant with me, it wasn't easy for her. She didn't know what to do or who to talk to, so she went to the hospital. It was too hard to get help until she met a friend who told her about a magical place.
Amiga, go to SisterWeb at www.sisterweb.org.
And that's when Mama Marna introduced us to our superhero, Tia Vicky. And that's how Tia Vicky helped me Mama bring me into this world safely. And she helped my Mama take care of herself too. When I grew up, I went to be a superhero doula, just like Tia Vicky.
Oh.
Women on Medicaid having doula support had 22% lower odds of delivering a preterm baby compared to other Medicaid recipients. Among women in the Medicaid health insurance program, having doula care was associated with 52.9% reduced odds of cesarean delivery and 57.5% lower chances of postpartum depression or postpartum anxiety.
Some videos.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so just wanted to share his latest endeavor. We'll share that in the chat as well for people to take a look at.
Lalo just stays doing good stuff for the community, you know what I mean? He's great.
Yeah, he's all about it. Yeah. Let's see. So where is this? I'm trying to find a good video to see if there's a video of this guy that got so two things major happened with YouTube pranksters, which was there's a YouTube prankster that got shot pranking people.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see if I can find a story here.
What was he doing exactly? What?
Huh?
I said, what was he doing exactly? I vaguely heard about this one, but not in detail.
You vaguely heard about it.
Mm-hmm.
All I can find. If it was TikTok, I truly don't care. It was. What are you doing over there? You watching?
That was me. Sorry. No, I'm just reposting it. I forgot to repost. I'm reposting.
All right, I'll look for it right here. This is an interesting one. We're officially at the mirrors are confusing stage of our de-evolution. This was an interesting one. This is an interesting one for people.
Anyone explain how does the mirror know that there's a
People were freaking out because they didn't realize how mirrors work.
anyone
Something
look at this. Oh my god. How does the mirror know that that's there? That's creepy.
Seriously?
Anyone explain how does the mirror know
Yeah,
that
they couldn't
there's
figure
an
this out.
object there? Anyone
Things. Look at this.
Oh
How
jeez.
does
Oh
the mirror
no. We're
know
doing
that that's
terrible as a species, you guys.
creepy?
Yeah, this is the TikTokers. This was happening on the
We
TikToks
love
this week.
TikTok.
I
Great.
mean, sometimes they do a lot of good.
They do. My algorithm is amazing. Listen, don't hate on TikTok. It's the algorithm, all right? That's Gen Z. I don't know.
All
Don't
right,
hate on Gen Z.
an update on the Tennessee GOP expelling Democratic lawmakers. One of the lawmakers that got, well, surprise, surprise, out of the 3 people that stood with the protesters, 2 of them were black. One of them was an older white lady. The 2 black people were the one that got expelled.
Shut up.
The white lady was the one that survived the vote. But they're
Stop. What? This could not be more blatant. What? Tennessee. What
yeah,
are
they
you
were
doing?
they were basically, they're saying the quiet part out loud. They're like, we have a chance. Now, good news is that when legislators are expelled from their positions, it usually goes back to their caucus or something that has to do with their district or what have you, and there's usually some sort of entity that's in charge of naming a replacement for an expelled representative until a special election. So it looks like both of them will be reinstated by those sort of constituencies. They both were like, yeah, we're going to reinstate them. So it was all a big fucking show if they're going to get their jobs back.
Okay.
But it's funny that the lady was the one that survived.
Yeah.
What a shock.
I mean, it's just layered because, like, first of all, this shouldn't even be happening. Like, these students were protesting gun reform. Their school got shot up and people died. And the least that, like, all they have the power to do is protest, which is a legal fucking right in these United States. And the way that the freaking what are they called? They're not Congress people, right? The way they were walking into what would they be called? Like
state legislators.
State legislators. Yeah, the way they were walking, the legislators, the way they were walking into the office that day, everyone was just like fucking like dodging them as if they were all about to, like, you know, like as if they were criminals. I'm like, just the least you could do is listen to these people. These are the people that you represent.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 of those people gave them the time of day and stood with them, which is the least you could fucking do for the people you represent. And those 3 people, well, 2 out of the 3 got fired. And not only that, 2 of them were colored. Well, the other one was white. Like, how blatant, like, how messed up is our society, dude? It's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine.
Yeah, no, it's definitely fucked up that. And then I think Andy said this in one of our pods, which is in the last pod she was here, where she said vote local.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, like I said, I always say, you know, Democrats are cucks, Republicans are the devil, and the difference is that they understood 15, 20 years ago that they saw that. Look, for example, here's a story that came out. Alarmed over young people increasingly proving to be a force for Democrats in the ballot box, Republican lawmakers in a number of states have been trying to enact new obstacles for voting for college students. You know, they realized long ago that this was happening, that the younger people were going to be voting overwhelmingly Democratic, that as minorities, I'm going to crinkle paper while I talk.
Oh, sorry, you can hear that? Damn.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
That minorities were having more kids, and therefore there were going to be more minority and Democratic voters, et cetera, et cetera. So they needed to rig the system. So they've been gerrymandering districts. They've been eliminated deep blue districts and replacing them with weird squiggly lines and smaller Republican districts. They've been doing everything that they could. They've been attacking local school boards, local boards. They've been attacking and putting a lot more money into state representatives, state congressmen, state senator elections. because ultimately those are the organizations that, even if you're in a deep blue state like Pennsylvania, if you control the state assembly, you can in theory cancel out what the will of the people of that state is, by not certifying an election, by
Yeah.
being in charge of elections, by saying there's no early voting, there's no ballot harvesting, shit like that. So Republicans have taken the steps they need to gain control of state senates, like what happened in North Carolina, where a democratically elated, she's democratically elected in a deep blue district, switches sides of the aisle, becomes a Republican 5 months after she's elected, giving them a supermajority. They do things like this because they know they can't win with a majority. They know that their policies, what do you know about Republican policies?
There's none.
There's none. The old school Republican was small government, less taxes, less regulation. Now it's like, xenophobia. Now it's basically fear mongering, and it's doing all these micro things to go against woke, to go against Bud Light, to go against stupid stuff like that.
Yeah,
that
it's
makes
creating panic.
That makes no sense. And so they know that they need to create these laws. They need to create these obstacles. They need to stop kids from voting. Look at what just happened in Wisconsin. One of the biggest districts, or a small district that has a bunch of universities, outvoted a much larger size district because all of those college students voted, and they stood in line for hours to vote. And so this is what they get. But at least they know what they're doing. They know that they need to control local assemblies, control local elections, and that's the only way they're going to keep kids in doing it. The good news is you can't fight against the youth because they're rude people. So eventually, all these we're a generation or two away from real change. Whoever comes after Gen Z, Gen Z is going to do a lot of the work, voting a lot of these people out and doing a lot of things. So
what you can do is brainwash the new generation, which is where the whole alpha movement and all of that is happening. You try to brainwash a lot of the generation's men, and you keep going this MAGA generation. So I don't know. I don't think it's macro. I think that it is a very small subset of people, but yeah, we'll see. Time will tell, I guess.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you talked about that because I had something queued up regarding that.
Nice. By the way, I was getting a cough drop, so let me know if it gets too ASMR-y.
No, you're good. You can mute yourself.
Out of hands these days.
I've had enough of this. This punishment stuff is going to stop.
You're not going to tell me what I'm going to do and not do?
I am now the alpha.
That's not how this works. I am the teacher.
The alpha takes priority over the teacher. The alpha takes priority over everything. Do you not know how that works?
The teacher is telling the alpha to sit in the seat right now.
And the alpha doesn't have to listen to orders.
Oh, this kid is about to do some damage.
The consequences that follow are going to
right. So this is what has Andrew Tate done to this generation, and we had answered a question a while ago about somebody who was like, my little brother's been listening to Andrew Tate.
I think I spoke about something like that too.
Charge his mother with a credit card and stuff like that.
Right? Yeah.
And now Mr. Tate is back out on the streets.
Boo.
Well, he's under house arrest, but
living in a mansion. Great.
Living in a mansion, but I mean,
like you said, the earth.
This does kind of have a lot to do with that situation.
Yeah, it really does. I don't know. Okay, he has, I think, 3 months for them to find him guilty or something, for them to take him to court. How does that work? Because if he gets if he gets off free, I think there's a time frame where he could get off free, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how the Romanian penal system works, but I do know that they were like, they could hold them for X amount of time,
Yeah.
And that after that, basically you have this much time to create a case and present a case, or he goes free.
Yeah. So let's hope that happens. I think that there's plenty of evidence. Man, dude, what is he doing to this generation though? And it's not only him, it's a lot of people that are becoming take copycats. And it's just because it's an easy grift. You know? Like that girl that you had that you showed a clip of, Wrong Think, last week or whatever. I'm like, she's just
Right.
a grifter. She's just trying to be the Latina Candace Owens, you know?
Yeah. She's doing the whole especially she's trying to be the Latina Candace Owens.
If you ever want to sell out and you get tired of being poor, I'll sell out with you, man. Let's do it.
No, listen, it would be so easy.
So easy.
The right wing grift is so easy. It is so easy, man. It must be so cool to be a Republican, just be able to just pick a thing to freak out, be on one side of something, switch sides, just like, hey, Super Mario movie, fuck that, Princess Pyramid, the princess is gonna ruin, nobody's gonna watch. And then I was like, no, it wasn't woke. That's why it made money.
You don't need logic. You don't need consistency. You don't need to analyze anything. You don't need to think. You just gotta get mad at something.
Talking point, react.
React. That's all it is.
That's why we took reactionary out of the title, because it was. But if we would have stuck with reactionary and we would have been full on,
we'd have a lot more views.
But seriously, like the other thing that happened was this the shooter that happened. The shooter that was at the school, the last shooter before the last shooter, right? Was and then they blamed it on it being a trans person, right? They were like, yeah, see, it's not guns, it's a trans person. Now this last shooter was a white male, but they dug into their LinkedIn profile, and on their LinkedIn profile, they had he, him pronouns, which is something that LinkedIn, when you log into, will be like, what are your pronoun preferences, right?
Yeah.
So they immediately jumped on that and said that it wasn't because he was a white male that was disenfranchised and angry at the world and felt entitled to hurt people. It was because he was part of the he/him identity trans movement.
Of course.
Because he put he/him in his profile. So I don't get that.
No, that sounds. There's so many other things that we can get to before we get to that. That just seems like such a nitpicky thing to go after, but okay.
No, it is absolutely a nitpicky thing to go. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant.
Yeah.
It's 100% irrelevant. And yeah, they don't release the manifestos because. But this guy live streamed himself going on a murder spree on Instagram. So I mean, the minute that became available on Facebook and Instagram, I was like, at some point, somebody's going to do something horrible live.
Yeah.
And it's happened a few times now. In Australia, I think the New Zealand Moss shooter did that. This guy's done it. Other people have tried to do that. So, hey, that's the HellScape.
Oh, geez. It's fine. It's fine. It's all fine.
You're
doing great.
We're doing great.
That was a great HellScape, man. That was great.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to talk about is what I was going to say. The freak out over Bud Light and now Jack Daniels. Because Bud Light. Oh, you haven't heard about the Bud Light freak out?
Mm-mm.
People are shooting their Bud Light cans.
Oh, something like that. Okay, yeah.
So Dylan Mulvaney is a trans model, influencer, etc., and Bud Light gave them a endorsement where they come out in some ads. There was an ad for Bud Light featuring them, and this freaked the hogs out to no end.
I love
Hey,
that.
what's up? What's up, Lizzie? Did you like the HellScape watch?
Dizzy Miss Lizzie.
So yeah, basically the chuds on TikTok and everybody started going crazy. And they started doing the same thing that they did with Nike and Colin Kaepernick, where they were like burning their jerseys. And the basically they literally they did a thing where they went into the parking lot and they crushed a bunch of like Bud Light cans. And basically people have been shooting their Bud Light cans and going into the parking lot.
So it's just reactionary behavior. Okay. So we're like, Bud Light is pro-trans. I hate Bud Light.
Yeah,
Hard.
and then the pictures came out of 2003, and one of the biggest people that had a problem with it was Kid Rock, and then there was pictures of him from 2003 drinking Bud Light with a drag queen.
What? I love that.
You know, back in the day where Kid Rock is drag queens and Bud Light. So here's the thing: is that Bud Light tastes like piss.
It does.
Bud Light is like the worst beer in the world.
Uh-huh.
And here's the video that I saw.
Oh, I thought you were going with. I thought you were going to say
for hell.
So they have all these cases of Bud Light, and they just drove around
with no care to chance
the
for the flag of.
Also,
All right,
it's must stink. But that is so wasteful. What?
Yeah.
All I know is most drinkers looked out.
So here's the thing. Yeah. So apparently it might have cost Bud Light $4 billion, but I doubt it. I don't think that's right. When Nike started getting shit for the Colin Kaepernick thing, people said they were going to break Nike and blah, blah, blah. They were burning shoes that they already paid for, which is fucking stupid. And they don't understand how a boycott works, right? And guess what Nike today is? Nike today is the #1 shoemaker in the world, and they're the #2 apparel maker in the world. So it didn't do shit. Gay people and trans people drink a lot of alcohol.
We do.
You know?
And I don't like Bud Light, but you know what? If y'all gonna discriminate, I guess I'll start buying some Bud Light.
I mean, there's got to be a reason. Doing what needs to be done. What kind of fucking stupid idea is it that you're doing what needs
to be done? Jesus.
So then they came after Jack Daniels.
Oh, what did they do?
Jack Daniels had an ad. And the thing is that Jack Daniels is based on the stolen recipe. Jack Daniels stole his recipe from a black man. And basically, Jack Daniels went woke. Travis Tritt said he was deleting all Anheuser-Busch products from Tour Hospitality. They've done videos on all the beers because Bud owns a bunch of other beer companies, right? Bud owns like I think Heineken or some other companies. They own a bunch of
better.
Right. And but the thing of it is like every beer company has done some sort of ad or something that's pro, Jack Daniels Fire Pride.
Oh, hell yeah.
Corona's done ads, Coors Light does ads. Like you're not gonna fight. These brands are not woke. These brands are not woke. These brands are not woke. These brands are simply doing what they have to do as a brand because they're not going to make all their money off of like poor whites at this fucking shitty ass beer.
Capitalism.
They want more. They need a bigger audience, and the gays and trans and other people, Latinos, there's a lot of us that drink a lot. They drink Jack Daniels and they drink Coors Light and they drink all these other beers. Here's the ad that freaked them the fuck up about Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels teams up with RuPaul, race alums in the Small Town Big Pride campaign, Drag Queen Summer Camp, with their new Fireball ripoff, Tennessee Fire.
Rip off. Nice. Okay. See, I mean, this is something that everyone freaking does, okay? Just because they're trying to sell to the masses. It's capitalism, baby.
Yeah.
But again, this is how you keep people ignorant, is by getting them mad over little non-issues like these.
And here again, somebody making a point of
Good for you, man. You're throwing your money away.
Throwing away a little Jack Daniels bottle that you already paid for.
You already paid for.
You already paid for this. You already had it, and you're gonna throw it down the toilet.
Yeah.
So I mean, congratulations on being an idiot. Like,
yeah, you bought that and then you threw it away.
Like, there's literally people that are going out and shooting Bud Light bottles and like going out there and.
I hope they drank it before they shot it.
Yeah, no, it's
and
definitely.
They didn't. But it's okay. Look, they bought it, so it's fine.
Yeah. They're so, man, maybe I'll buy some and like water my plants with it or something. Like,
there you go.
I can't drink Bud Light.
It's like 99% water, so I'm sure your plants will do just fine. Yeah,
it's insane that they're doing that. But here, the new Bud Light ad here has got the it's got a bottle. It's got just a picture of an influencer on it. I mean, they're just trying to find a bigger audience. That's what that's what you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. I mean, objectively, Bud Light is not great. So.
No, it's horrible. It's
like college beer. It's like I'm already tipsy and I just want to keep this buzz going, and that's the last beer in the, available. So.
Yeah, my sound is off. I can't hear some of these videos that I'm supposed to play, so I'm just gonna save some of these for. I'm just gonna save some of these for later on. All right, I am gonna share. Huh?
I was gonna say I love your headphones. When you look to the side, the lights. I don't know why I've been hyper focusing on it today. It's great. It looks great.
Bud Light is the only perfect beer for beer pong.
Yes. Doesn't get you too tipsy.
Doesn't get. Yeah, it's a good beer pong. It's a good beer pong beer. It's it's cheap. It's water. It's like after you've been drinking and you just want to sort of keep a buzz but not go over the top. What is it? Beer after liquor, or liquor after beer, liquor after beer in the clear.
Beer before liquor. Never been sicker. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. All right. I was gonna play this, but I can't play the sound. So this Thursday, we have another filmmaker that's going to be joining us, and I'm going to put the link to this movie on the screen. It's called Chico and Rico Animal Avengers.
Yeah.
So we're going to be. I'm going to put the copy of the link here to share with you guys. Take a look at it. It's one of the movies that we featured as part of our showcase. It's a really funny sort of action Western movie that turns into like a kung fu movie. It features dogs, kung fu, a lot of really cool action, and it's really funny. So I'll put it in the comment section there so you guys can check it out. We will have the director of this movie on Thursday.
Yeah.
So go check them out, and we'll have that. We'll watch more stuff on Thursday.
It's exciting. I'm excited. I love that movie.
All right, we're gonna get to a segment that I like to call "Should I Buy This?"
Lou. All right, try to sell me on it.
All right, so this is the company that I get all these like special one-off hats for, and this was the one that caught my eye recently. It's called the Mecha Panther. So if you look at it, it's got like the panther, but then it's got the underneath panther, and it's got like those cool colors. It's the colorway is pretty. I have black hats, but most of the black hats I have like a different sort of colorway on it. So
what's under the cap?
Under the cap, I think it's this.
That teal?
Yeah, it's like maybe similar to this.
Okay.
Most of the hats have like a similar. It's the same brand as these, so they're all like embroidered. They're all like really high quality. But I haven't bought myself a new hat like in 3 months.
Lou, we had this conversation 3 months ago.
Yeah.
My last one, whatever.
Yeah, that's my last one. All right. If anybody wants to buy me this hat, I'm gonna put it in the chat.
Let's get some sponsorship. Somebody sponsor this man's hat addiction, please.
Got to be bigger than 7 3/4 though. Don't get it, because it's got to be 7 3/4 and 7 7/8 if you want to get me this hat. Anyway, all right. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. It's a nice hat.
Cool design. It's a cool design.
It is a really cool design. Shout out the Clink Room that does these hats. All right, I had this one. Mean Girls author takes legal action against Paramount, slams Tina Fey.
What?
So Mean Girls was originally a story written by author Rosalinda Wiseman, who wrote the book Queen Bees and Wannabes. The film that was adapted in 2004 into the hit film Mean Girls, and basically she's alleging that the studio Paramount have denied making net profits from the franchise and have not fairly compensated her for the source material. She made about $400,000 after selling the film rights, but it has not received any additional payments since. One of the things that she sort of was thinking she was going to receive some payments for was Mean Girls the musical. So she sells the rights to her book. They adapt it. Tina Fey makes it. And then after that, all this Mean Girls becomes like a big thing. And it spins off into this musical. And she's thinking they're going to give her a little bit of money on that for the back end. And she was waiting and waiting and waiting, and nothing happened. So now she's suing. We created this thing. Tina took my word. She did an extraordinary job with it. She brought it to life, and the material has been used and recycled for the last 20 years. I'm clearly recognized and acknowledged by Tina as the source. I'm recognized, and yet I deserve nothing. Your thoughts?
Oh, man. See, that's difficult because I want to be on her side. But I know that, like, when you get into like contracts and shit like that, it's all very black and white. And so if you sold your source material for a fit price or something, I don't know, it's whatever was in the contract. Like, she can sue, but I don't know what was on the initial contract. A lot of times you just sell your rights to your book, and then once it's gone, so I don't know if she agreed to having residuals. I don't know what the agreement was. So if she feels like she has a case and she's suing, then I hope she wins, because this is a lot of money, and I hope that she didn't get screwed.
400,000
she seems to think like she did get screwed, so I don't know.
400,000 is a lot of money. You got to remember it's in 2002, and
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, it sounds like a fair deal, honestly.
The thing about it is that, and this is something that as indie filmmakers and writers we have to be careful of, is that sometimes that first contract, that first distribution deal, this happens for musicians. This is something that Dave Chappelle talked about, when he was doing Chappelle's show, that the reason that he didn't do a third season was that, he signed the contract. Well, sometimes you sign the contract and you're a struggling artist, you're a struggling writer, you sign that first contract because you basically have to, because it's life-changing at the time, but it doesn't mean that you're not being taken care of. So the issue is not necessarily whether she signed a contract, it's whether the industry is abusive and predatory and takes advantage of these people, because, there's a problem right now, because there probably will be a WGA writer strikes, because they've sort of changed the way they make TV and movie and content, and they're trying to sort of squeeze out writers and not pay them as many residuals. For example, for the movie The Bird Box, Netflix just got sued by the WGA, and they've had to pay out like $42 million in royalties that they withheld from writers. So I agree that part of it is you have to pay attention to what you're signing, and you sort of have to bet on yourself more. But it is tough to bet on yourself. Like, for example, let's say Spotify came to me and you, Sophia, next week, and they're like, we want to add some more Latino podcasts to like our premium service, or we want to do this, or we want you exclusively on Spotify. and we want the video exclusively on Spotify. We're going to give you guys $1 million in perpetuity for the rights to your show, but we need 1,000 more episodes, and we get your whole catalog. And during those 1,000 episodes, all of a sudden, Mi Gente becomes a bigger brand, and we get these things, whatever. It spins off into other things, and all of a sudden, 5 years from now, we're like, it's worth $20 million. Well, yeah, at that moment, right now, in our situation, we would very easily be like, yeah, $500,000 a piece, sign us up, right?
Yeah.
But later on, you realize that you undersold yourself, or that you could have held out for more. So, especially with the musical aspect of it, that they keep going on to it, that's kind of my thing.
And that's the difficult part, though. It's like you're selling something, and she got 400K, which is good for that time and that moment. But then, yeah, it turned into something and grew into something much bigger, franchise now, musical. Like it's took a mind of its own. So it's difficult because that is a lot of money up front. I agree with what you're saying that, the industry does take advantage of people up front that maybe don't have that kind of notoriety and just need that head start or whatever. They sell their stuff and then they do. So I get it, but I think I'm just going to let the legal process take its course. I think if she thinks she has a good case, I hope she wins, and I hope she does. It's just hard to defend when you sold it initially, and then after that, it became something you had no idea, right? We've seen that with like inventions. We've seen that with a lot of stuff, like freaking the person who sold, what was it, Apple? Who was it? I don't know. There's people that have like all these like bad deals, right? That you like sell it for like 10K, and then later on it becomes a multi-billion-dollar business. So I don't know.
Yeah, the story from the Facebook movie.
Facebook,
where he talks about Victoria's Secret's guy. He sold it for like $10-20 million, and then it was worth like $1 billion like 5 years later. And he
Victoria's Secret was one of them. Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff like that. I mean, eBay. I'm pretty sure Tesla. There's like a little hint of that as well. The last owner got kicked off. Anyway, but like, yeah, it's hard. I don't know. I don't know that I have a hard stance on anything. I can see how that's like mean, but at the end of the day, also you sold it, and then it became a big thing. Who's to say that it wouldn't have been that big without Tina Fey writing the movie? I don't know. Who's to say? I guess we'll figure it out in court.
Yeah. I think the issue that I have with, like I said, is more the industry being predatory, and the fact that they sort of try to appease her by always mentioning that she was a major reason for the success of it, and that she was the inspiration for it. And I think what happened, they were going to give her like a small part in the musical or something like that, or they were going to have her play like one of the teachers or something. Like they were trying to, but they stopped short of being like, you know what, we're making a thing out of this. We're going to make a musical. We're going to give you 0.3%. Just because even though we don't have to. That's the part.
I think that would be the ethical thing to do, for sure.
That was the thing that like Chappelle did in a special, where he's like, Netflix put my stuff on, and technically they had the right to do that, but I told them I didn't like to because I felt like I signed that contract, and they took it down, and then they renegotiated and gave him some more money, even though they necessarily didn't have to, because they felt it was the right thing. So I think
I think it's one of those situations. Yeah,
we're obviously late stage capitalism. We're obviously in this situation, so it makes sense that that it happens this way, but it doesn't make it right, and from my perspective.
No, I agree that it's not right, and she's due a little more. Whether it's gonna happen, or I don't know.
Give her a piece of the fucking show.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt anybody, doesn't, just give her some freaking money. She wrote it. She wrote the freaking material to begin with. But, I do think that like they should be due for predatory contracts like these. They should at least be able to reopen it, like 10 years or something in the future, and then just be like, hey, can I at least request royalties? Like, I don't know, request some kind of payment per, I don't know, something, like let's reopen this, because it is predatory to begin with, such a low ball deal, I guess. But you don't know, because that movie could have also failed. Yeah, but also that movie could have failed and like, not been anything.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing.
So she got 400K out of it. That's cool.
Yeah, that's the thing. Where like I said, it's not a cut and dry black and white issue, I don't think. But
yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, I do want to remind everybody, thank you for everybody that tuned in. You can catch the podcast, Podbean, mijenteshow.podbean.com. There's our episode with Lizzie here, 482 downloads. Good time. Our other episodes are doing really well as well. Our Tally V episode, I think, is still number 1 right now with 541 downloads. Our recent downloads are coming up as well. The Crossing the Stream, the Team of Life, the Bad Bunny episode, all this stuff. So make sure that you guys are subscribed wherever you get your podcast. We'll be back on Thursday to do another live show.
Yes, sir.
And we'll also be doing 2 shows next week before we do a brief hiatus. So for Luis Martinez, myself, at Sofia Carr, mi gente, thank you guys for hanging with us tonight. Thank you, Liz, Kurt, for stopping by. Thank you, Rosa, for stopping by. Thank you, everybody that commented and shared the stream tonight. We love you. We hope you enjoyed the stream. Thank you to Maribel for stopping by. And really, we thank her for all the work she's doing for a lot of people who are voiceless. And she, you know, I'm sure she was tired of answering all those questions, but she did a great job because obviously she's been doing this for a long time. But we do appreciate her stopping by, and that she, you know, took my my shit talking in good nature.
In good nature, yes.
Yeah, she's awesome. So we look forward to seeing her again. Hopefully, thank you, Mas Paz Leather, again also for stopping by. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you guys in 2 days.
See ya. Hasta luego.
Peace out.
Vamos, papá, hay que irnos. Me estoy aguantando desde que pusieron el domo.
Puedes esperar. Muchas personas trabajaron en esta película y solo quieren que te aprendas sus nombres de memoria.
Y yo quiero asegurarme de que ningún animal resultó lesionado durante la filmación de esta película.
¡Listo! ¡Uy, palomitas en el suelo!
Espera, parece que Maggie tiene algo que decir. No es su primera palabra. ¿Qué escuela?
¡4 años de escuela de cinematografía para esto!